The force was very much in the national spotlight earlier this year during the huge and high-profile operation to try to find Nicola Bulley. You've commissioned an independent review into that operation, haven't you? I know you won't want to say anything that will prejudge that, but can I just ask you this? Have you ordered that review because you think it's good practice or because you have particular concerns yourself?
I think for me, thoughts remain with Nicola's family and her friends, but what is an absolutely tragic time. And every single step of the way that we're going with this review, family liaison officers are in place, and we're making sure that we do it with as much sensitivity to them as possible. And the reason that we've commissioned the review is because, yes, it is good practice when such a major story has come out and there's been such public concern to address that public concern and ask the questions and get somebody independent to come in. I'm also concerned that in a modern policing era, in a policing investigation that was sadly correct in its hypothesis all the way along, in which officers predicted correctly, very sadly, even the day that Nicola's body would tragically be found. And yet it became such a story, particularly in the national papers, about bungling, incompetent cops, yet they were right all along. So how did the police lose control of that narrative? And I'm grateful to outlets like the Lancashire Post, BBC Radio Lancashire, Lancashire Telegraph, Blackpool Gazette, all who were very measured and sensible in their reporting and listened to what the police were saying. But that wasn't the case with a lot of the national newspapers. And then this became an internationalized, sensationalized story. And TikTok in particular, and online amateur detectives pushing conspiracy theories out, which resulted in vile abuse towards Nicola's family and friends. How did that get so out of hand? And that is one of the clear work streams for the review of the College of Policing.
The criticism that was aimed at the force wasn't just directed at the confidence that they had in their hypothesis about what sadly proved prescient had actually happened to Nicola Bulley. It was also about the release of sensitive information about her, wasn't it? Was there any point during that investigation that you felt uncomfortable or had pause for thought?
Well, the ICO have made their statement on the release of that information. I have my own personal private views. This is one area of work stream for the college, so that's not something I would want to preempt. And I think I'll let the college do their work on that, and then we'll be happy to discuss that once that review is concluded. But I wouldn't want to preempt the outcome of that.
Just finally on this, how close was your contact with the force during that period? Because obviously the force has to remain operationally independent.
I can't direct and control operational resources. So my job is not to ring up the chief constable in the morning and tell him where to put which officers and how to run investigations. They are the professionals and know how to do this. Am I there to hold to account and make sure that, yes, in times of difficulty, the constabulary has the resources that they need and the backing that they need, but also to make sure that I'm keeping a close eye and holding the force to account in my role effectively as the regulator for Lancashire Police, as the Office of the Police and Crime Commissioner. So I was receiving regular briefings from the chief officer team on the case as it unfolded, including on Saturdays and Sundays as we progressed through that case.